What it is good, everybody? So, for those who do not know who I am, my name is Gavin. I own a small little disc golf business called Winchred Disc Golf out here in Pennsylvania. Mainly, I focus a lot on tournament directing. That's what I really do enjoy because I understand one thing. Without courses, we do not have disc golf. So, that's the biggest thing. But today, we're not talking about the business. We're actually talking about personal. Myself as a player. First, I am newly sponsored player on Gateway Disc Sports. I'm super stoked on being sponsored for the very first time by a manufacturer. So I'm really going to be digging deep on their lineup and all the sister brands that they help. Little knowledge about Gateway. They have been in existence since 1994. And so they're OG. And I am really stoked to be sponsored by an OG like Gateway. So, but this is more of a community YouTube video because I need help. I need some major help. I realize that when I go and look at, the stock order and doing a team order for myself, I don't know what I'm getting. So I need the community. I need y'all's help here to help me build my bag here. Now, I do have Gateway Discs and as well as the sister brands here, so I'm going to show that a little bit later. And maybe you can drop some knowledge. So, not looking for personal preferences. I'm looking for a nerd knowledge. That's the biggest thing. Because first and foremost, I've been throwing gyro tech for, 10 years. So, anything to be able to help, even the gyronaut that is on Team Gateway, you are probably going to be the most helpful in this situation. But there's so many people that, that's within this community that is willing to help. I am going to be looking at every single comment that everyone says. So first and foremost, putters is the most important part of my game in particular, because I have noticed that I'm okay with getting into C1, C2 off the tee, but the biggest thing, or even approaching, so the biggest thing is putters, because I need to nab that par or birdie to be able to move forward. And this is one of the biggest things, and I'm going to be straightforward to everyone. My bag is curated to both sides of my game, backhand and forehand. I would say 95%. So I need disc that is going to work for both sides. So not just forehand, not just backhand, but both. So I can keep my bag to a minimum. Because last year I realized and I recognized that part of my game that was the most difficult was I was overpicking and made horrible disc selections. I'd say in August is whenever I really took a step back, took a look in my bag, and I did the bag, everything, and just focused on, discs that worked for backhand and forehand, both. So we're going to take a deep dive into my bag and drop some knowledge, people. Please, drop knowledge. That's what I'm here. That's what I want. So a type of that kind of help is going to be the best thing. First and foremost, putters. So first one, I pulled the irons. I pulled the irons in headwind situations, for spin putts, anything along those lines. Obviously, wizards. But the plastic is what really means the most. I need the plastic to feel, of course, grippy, but as well as depth and firm. So help. I know. I mean, I'll put it this way. I can go out there and get Sure Grip Firm, but if there is a plastic that is a tad bit more on the firm side, as well grippy, please let me know. If not, Sure Grip Firm or the Sure Grip Firm Glow is the direction I'm probably going to end up going. And during quarter months, I'll go into a super soft type of plastic. But my main thing is with putters, I want to order about 10, 20, anything along those lines, just for my game in particular, because this is the most important part. You know, practice putting. Then next is one of my favorite discs. I don't know if it's going to be a staple or not, depending on how the Voodoo is going to be, how the Voodoo feels in my hand and how it's going to fly. This is Noma by Thought Space Athletics. This comes in the Nerve Firm plastic, and it is a neutral flyer with a bead. 2300, and it is dead straight. It's just doesn't want to deviate from the actual release angle that you put it on. So I use this guy a lot in tailwind situations and push putting. So I have developed a push putting and as well as spin putt. So there's multiple things. So help with the plastics for that for sure. Now here are discs that I don't know it's going to be full-blown staples or not. One of the things about Gateway is they don't have any 4-speeds. I love my 4-speeds. That's one of the biggest things with my bag, is the reliability that I need out of 4-speeds over any other, over 3 speeds or even 5 speeds for that matter. So, and I'll explain why. So during August, before I debagged, I had one of the most horrible tournaments I ever played in, and it was, the bag was overwhelming, to say the least. And I realized that I leaned a lot on my 4-speeds than I did on 5 speeds or 3 speeds. And I was one of those type of players that would bag about 4 NVs, like literally 4 NVs. And I realized that I couldn't do it anymore. So I decided to focus on the 4-speeds because I could do a power grip and a fan grip or modified grip and still get the same results what a 3-speed and even a 5-speed can do. So I'm going to say which ones are the staples and what are not staples. If you do have high recommendations for certain molds, please drop down below. All right, I bagged 5 4-speeds. 2 is 1, so 1 mold is 2 discs. I'm going to go by the stability of each disc, and then we are going and drop it down below. First, the Straight Flyer Alias. It is an OOP disc by MVP. This is actually one of my very first mid-ranges I've ever picked up. So I love this guy. I can power grip it and really bomb it if need be. And as well, I can finesse it if need be as well. So with this disc in particular, it has many different characteristics that really helps with my game. And the main reason why I don't go to a 5-speed due to its diameter wise, it is a little bit bigger, and rim is a little bit bigger as well. So I felt more comfortable throwing the four speed version. So if there is a disc that you recommend, drop it down below. Of course, I've felt the Shaman, and I have felt Element as well. So if you think that Element or a Shaman would work better in my favor, drop it below. Next up, these are staples. They're not going anywhere. Sorry. Tempos. Tempos, tempos, tempos all day long. This is my favorite disc of all in the 4-speed lineup of MVP and any type of 4-speed I've ever thrown. Yes, even over a Zone and even over Zone SS or modified versions. So I don't know if this guy is going to go. I've been looking into Warspear, which we're going to go to this guy here. So Warspear was one of the discs I really felt really good in hand. I really enjoyed the thumb track there. Don't know if that one's going to go, if the tempos are going to get replaced for them, but I can tell you this. This one is less stable than this guy here. This one has more of a flip up and gives a little bit of a turn, then comes back due to the soft proton version. And then particle glow here. This disc in particular replaced my Envies. That's the reason why. So tempos replace the Envies out of the bag, and these things are amazing. Now, Warspear obviously is going to be the one that could replace this disc here. So I'm going to give that one a shot. Then we got a Doomsday disc. So I ended up getting one of their prepper packs here, just so I can give it a shot. It hooked me up with a 4-speed that really suited my game style here. It is an Area 51, but doesn't fly like an Area 51. It is more along the lines of a 4503. It does have that 3-fade, trust me, it does. So it is really impactful, and it works for my game. Now, if there's a disc that you think that I would like, that can replace this and still have that glide, that 5 glide with the reliable finish at the end with the 3-fade, please let me know down in the comments. Next, this is by far one of my favorite discs of all time. Yeah, Ace disc. The Vessel by Thought Space Athletics. The thumb track groove, gnarly. The only one that really stood out of the Gateway lineup was Devil Hawk. So I'm going to give myself a Devil Hawk here to give it a shot and see if, that disc replaces this one right here. If it doesn't, then it's a staple. Next up, we go to my 5-speeds. I only have 2 5-speeds. Only 2. We got the first run Eclipse 2.0 reactor. I rely on this one a huge ton for my 5-speed lineup, and it is marvelous. So the flight number for these guys is like a 5.5 negative 0.5 1.5, so almost like a 5.502. I do like the fact how stable and straight it is during the flight, and then the overstability kicks in at the very end. So don't know if this is going to be a staple or not, but needless to say, like I said, if you think that there is a disc I might like more from Gateway, please drop it below. I know that I seen a 5502 on the website, and definitely looking for Glow Plastic because I know Glow Plastic has a tad bit more stability. Then this. This is by far a gnarly disc. It's called Mana. Mana by Thought Space Athletics. It is a 5.5 -2-1. 5.5 -2-1. Just off the tee, finesse shots, anything along those lines, it works. Gnarly flip up to flat, it does its thing and just comes back. This is more of for my technical courses that I like to play around here, where I need to carve something out of the woods or hold that Anheuser line all the way through. This is that disc, and it's fun to throw. But if there is a disc, I don't think I've seen anything in the lineup for this mold in particular from Gateway. But if there is one that you can think of, please drop it below. Of course, with the Mana, it is Glow Plastic, so Glow Plastic has a little bit more stability, so that is important. Next up, we go into my fairway drivers. This is 100% heart of the bag. I even consider 9-speeds to be more of the fairway slot, kind of like that in between of a distance driver and a fairway driver. Same thing with 10-speeds, you know. But introducing some of my ultimate favorite fairways. So this is my very first Crave that I've ever purchased. This was about, almost 6-7 years ago I bought this disc. So but this is not a staple. It's been in and out of the bag. I go in between 3 different discs for this slot in particular. So I usually, what I do is go in between the -1, -1, 1, or 2, or 1 and -2. So anything along those lines, guys, big help. I like to have different variety to be able to switch in and out depending on courses that I do play. Now we talk about this guy. This is a staple in the bag. I don't think it's ever gonna leave. It is a Proton Resistor from 2016. You can only get these guys in either A, the Circuit Challenge, or B, the Eagle McMahon stamp. So I think it's Synergy or something along those lines. So now these guys are 6.5, 4, 0, 2.5, 3, something along those lines. So I don't think it's going to be leaving the bag. Don't leave the bag unless I somehow lose it and I got died, just because I'm super scared on losing it. Next up, we got Eclipse Resistor. Eclipse Resistor is a lot more beefier than my Proton Resistor here. This one gives great disc for anti-flex lines. If I need something that once it gets to the ground, get a big skip, this is the disc for sure for that slot. So I know I looked at, what was it? It was the overstable slot from in this particular speed. And what are y'all's thoughts on it? Do you think that can be swapped out for? Do you think that this can be swapped out for that? Let me know. Next up, Wrath. Proton Wrath. So I looked for Diablo and see if that disc would basically kick this disc out. I highly doubt it because it is a absolute staple in the bag. I've been throwing this disc for years and it's been ultimately my favorite my favorite 9-speed, even over a super stable like Fireball or anything like that. I think that Fireball is way too stable for my game. That's why I focus a lot on the 7 speeds and 4 speeds for that slot. So Wrath is 95% going to be a staple in the bag unless Diablo just somehow kicks it out. But I did notice that Diablo is out of stock currently, so that is not happening. Next up, we got the Coalesce. Coalesce by Thought Space Athletics. It is a balanced disc, 9503. Of course, flight numbers on Gateway. I forget what disc it is, but that's a disc I'm going to try out. I really do enjoy this disc on basically anything, really. It's really reliable. So, going to give the Gateway version a shot for sure. Next up, this is a disc here that I really, really, really enjoy. This is Insanity by MVP, Axiom. This is patent pending. What do you see there? It is flatter. This one flies more of, I'll be honest with you, more like a 9.5 negative 1/1, so a spear or a something along those lines, you know. I think Assassin is even amongst there. Even the Hooligan disc thread. So I'm going to be giving Gateway Hooligan a shot here in this slot in particular, but this is my go-to shot that if I need a good flip up and let it go off to the left for forehand and same backhand, or even uphill shots, or just really just if I need to crush something on a major Anheuser line, this is that disc that really just pops. So we'll see what happens. Excited. Now we go to my distance drivers. Distance drivers are all going to get replaced, except for this one here, unless somehow it gets kicked out. I wouldn't be surprised though. So, Wave. This is Wave. Wave is my roller disc. So y'all know, roller disc here, or just a massive tailwind shot. This is it. 100% get replaced. Synopsis by Thought Space Athletics. This is going to get replaced by Spell. Then Octanes. This one is going to be in the bag. This is a patent pending Octane, 171 Gs on this. This stays. This is, I can throw this on basically any type of line and I can get Bomber out of it. So, good disc. This is my patent pending Eclipse one. I like to throw this one on forehand and backhand a lot, but I am not particularly love this disc, so it can be out of the bag for sure and be replaced with something else. So there is the current bag. Now I'm going to show you all the discs that I did receive from loyal customers that knew that I got signed with. I made the leap to Gateway here, and they were willing to help me out here. So shout out to you. You know who you are. Much love, and thank you so much for supporting my journey here. So first up, we're going to talk about putters. So I did receive this Wonder Woman Wizard, pure white Wizard. So this feels really, really immediately. This is firm. It has the grip, so this is going to be used heavily for sure. Next up, we got Glow Shaman, Super Glow, and I don't like it as a putter. Maybe a thrower here. We're really gonna give this one a shot. Let me know down in the comments if this is actually gonna be a good disc for my bag. I'm gonna have to give it a shot, you know. So we got a War Spear here, Overstable Approach disc. So I am definitely gonna be giving this guy a shot here. We gotta give this one a shot. I really enjoyed the thumb track on these guys here. It can replace a tempo out of the bag, since it comes in this little bit grippier plastic, and as well as glow, which usually equals out to be more, a tad bit more stability. So we're gonna give this one a shot. Next up, I'm not a huge fan of 5.5 -1 here, but of course we're still going to give them a shot. We got the Gateway Elements, and this one is, it doesn't, I don't know what the actual plastic is for this. Maybe it's next, I don't know. But we also got this hemp blend. Obviously, usually once these guys beat in a good bit, they become a little bit flippier. So it's a possibility that this one could kick out the 5.5 -2/1, the mana, but I don't know. I prefer mana that is first and foremost tad bit more seasoned and also still reliable with the glow plastic. So if there is glow elements out there, I don't know if I've seen it on the order sheet, but if there is, please let me know. And obviously for this guy in particular, I could easily throw this guy. I prefer it in glow plastic though, because that could replace the reactor. We'll have to see though when time tells, you know. Next up, I am, out of everything, this is probably the most exciting disc to ever. Of course, Gateway has always been innovated, as well as with MVP. So one of the biggest things with them is they do overmold technology as well. So I am super stoked to throw the Odyssey by Gateway. This is, always been looking for an 8-speed, because I prefer 8 speeds over 9 for flippiness. With it being an 8.5 -2/1, I'm curious how it's going to fly. You know, right out of the hand, I can tell great forehand and as well backhand. It feels comfortable. It feels familiar. That's the biggest thing. It's familiar. So I'm super stoked to be throwing the Odyssey here and give this one a real good old rip. We do have a spear here. I'm not sure what the actual flight numbers are for spear. I think it's like a 9.5 or 9.6 -1/1. So, and I do have a Hooligans thread to try out. So these two will be battling a spot for sure in the bag. And then we have a really cool disc here. We got a Storm, and as well as this is a Team Doomsday disc. So this is what I really come to find out, which was very, very interesting. Basically almost the same disc as what you can see there. It is almost exactly the same disc. The only thing that I noticed that's different is how rounded this Doomsday disc is, which is a lot more understable than what I originally thought it would be. Great for rollers, in my opinion. The wave was out, not really thrown that much for rollers, but I'd still use the wave on roller shots if need be. But this one was mainly my roller disc. So I'm excited to give this one a shot to see what happens whenever I try to tempt this guy on a roller or how it flies. So super stoked. Give that one a shot. Then the spell. And I am on Team Cardinal as well. So super stoked on both of them, being sponsored by both. So I'm going to shout out to Kevin. I will be throwing the spell this year. And, well, as we can see there is a huge gouge there. I don't know what happened to this disc. But I need to order a bunch of disc doctors. I'll tell you that. So I am super stoked to give this guy a shot. Definitely in headwind situations. The grams on this, I didn't even see what the grams. 174. So that's perfect. So there we go. So those are going in the bag. Try out and see what happens there. For those that want to know, for those who do want to help, my next step in this process, please drop comments down below. Drop knowledge, not opinions, guys, but knowledge, not biased opinions, but knowledge. That is what I am looking for. Other than that, guys, I'll see you out on the course and see you on some social media apps. Come find me, guys. All right? Peace out. Have a great day.